Do you think that if you glitched or action replayed the game so that you could jump that far, do you think you could actually reach that planet, or do you think it's just a background element?
I think it still exists.
Speaking of the background in this level in particular, it bugs the fuck out of me that the cloudy blue sky is above the starry space one.
Above is relative,
Space
my
is not
friend.
supposed to make
Yes,
sense.
above is relative.
We could just be in Australia.
Above is relative. A map of the Earth could be like upside down for all we know.
Well, upside down is also relative.
It could be magnetic south.
It just fucks with my sense of direction. Space is supposed to be above the sky, past the sky, beyond the sky.
Above is relative.
Not if you have a planet above you.
But space in this case is underneath the sky.
Space case.
Does it bug you as much as Sonic CD's Collision Chaos, where the water is above the level and not below?
What about Mega Man 6?
Yeah, very true. Oh, is that the one with submarines in this? Is that the one with submarines in the sky?
Is it Mega Man 6 the one with Centaur Man?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Centaur Man, yeah.
Trees. And beetles.
Trees and beetles.
Big bad
Robotic beetles. Was Eggman here?
Okay, Mario just landed.
bugs.
My Audacity fucked up, so I'm going to be sending you 2 files for this part.
Okay. Just label it like
Part A,
Part
Part
A,
B.
Part B.
Yeah. Let's
Have fun syncing it.
get in. Let's not get into the technicals while we're recording.
Flood.
Yeah.
High flood. Bye flood.
No one likes you.
The cockroaches are actually a little fun little enemy that I like that they've made in this game, is because if you approach them as regular Mario, they're afraid of you. But if you approach them as B Mario, they actually start... They become more aggressive and start actively attacking
Yeah.
you.
I imagine what they're thinking is, oh crap, Mario's here, and then you become as B Mario. Look at that fucking stupid outfit. Let's get that asshole.
I want his lunch buddy.
The neighbors are causing trouble, oh dear! I like how the Honey Hive Queen was a character in Mario Kart 7, but Waluigi was not.
Metal Mario was a character in Mario Kart 7, but Waluigi wasn't.
Waluigi is going to be in Mario Kart 8, I've played it, and Waluigi is in the game.
Yay.
Oh god, it's this boss.
But yeah, that didn't make sense. How come the Honey Queen and Metal Mario were characters? Sounds like really. Who's going to be next? Cheap.
Cheap. But you could play as Blooper in, like, Mario Party 8.
Yeah, Blooper was a Mario Party 9, and... No, Mario Party... 9 was the one where you were in the car, right?
Yeah.
Then Blooper was a Mario Party 8.
Welcome to that one part of Galaxy 2 where you realize it's more of an expansion pack than a sequel.
Galaxy 2 was originally called More Super Mario Galaxy.
Well, Super Mario
Yeah.
Galaxy more, but yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
I think the story behind that is that they originally wanted to release it as an expansion pack, but then they realized you can't really do that on Wii because the internal memory. And it's like they didn't want, it's like if they were gonna, like, you can't really do that as a digital thing because of, 512 megabytes of internal memory is what you have to assume everyone has. And on top of that, you also have the fact that if they were gonna sell the expansion pack on a disc, if you're already giving them a disc they have to swap out anyway, you might as well just sell it as a new package.
Yeah, it's not even what they have to assume. The way the Wii's DLC works is that internal memory, every time you download something to an SD card and use it, the system temporarily copies it to the internal memory in order to use it. So it can't actually be any bigger than that, no matter how much storage you have.
Yeah, we can't have one thing bigger than that. What's actually kind of funny is, remember when the Strong Bad game came out for the Wii? You actually can't... That game was 5 episodes. You actually can't have all 5 episodes on your internal system memory at one time. It came out in the time before they had the SD card update. You had to have all your stuff saved to the memory, and you could only back it up to the SD card. So you actually had to, like, refrigerator shuffle around to get, like, the later episodes of that, because you couldn't have all 5 at the same time, because it was bigger than 500 megs.
Poor Homestar fans. They haven't updated that site in like 3 years, and I'm pissed off about it.
Well, it's because the people that made it, they're like working in the cartoon industry now. I understand that they worked on Yo Gabba Gabba, and like now they're currently working on Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls, huh? Okay, well I'm gonna have to. I freaking love Homestar Runner, so I've made several references to it while recording for Brain Scratch, but none of you get them.
I get Strong Bad references.
Yeah, strong bad.
I would get them, yeah.
Oh, well, no, I make them all the time, and you never pick up on them, so I'm not bitter or anything. No, I'm never bitter.
Oh no, you're not bitter. I fully understand. It's just Gravity Falls really isn't half bad of a show. I've watched a couple episodes of it, and it was really good from what I saw. But I can tell it has a bit of a continuity, so I think I want to watch it from the beginning if I'm gonna like get into it.
Stupid. Well, that's what Netflix is for.
Yeah.
So we got the first of many single-star gimmick planets. That's what I call them. There's gotta be a better
I'm
name
not
for it.
terribly fond of these types of galaxies where you have exactly one planetoid and like a puzzle or something.
Well, this is something that you would like if this were a bigger planet. This would be like a room that you'd see at the very end of one of those of a normal mission, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They feel they're a little bit too short. Although I gotta wonder what Mario's thinking when he's in a 8-bit with the 8-bit background back there.
What is all of this? I don't get it.
How old am I?
Was he transported into his photo album or something?
Something about this galaxy in particular just feels cheap and cobbled together to me, and that sort of detracts from the experience a little for the 20 or so seconds I'm actually in there anyway.
Gee, Lewis, do you dislike the terrorists after Good Egg?
Oh no, the terrace is fine. Like the first, the Bowser boss is pretty good. Well, not the Bowser boss. The boss, I should just say.
The Terrorist is a slightly weak sauce world overall, but I do enjoy Good Egg Galaxy and the Bowser level enough that it's you know, fine. This, on the other hand, can go kill itself.
Surfing USA.
That was very well timed. Surfing 101.
Surfing's a major now?
Well, you know, this level is basically just a tutorial minigame for the much more annoying version of it that you fight in the Green Star Trials. Yes, it's a fight.
It's a fight.
Fight.
All right,
You
put 'em
fight
up.
the
Put 'em up.
controls is what it is.
You're fighting the you know, you know, when I probably went off on a rant about this when we actually got to that in the future part, but you know, I just actually control. I would rather blooper surf.
Okay, I don't know if it's that bad. It's at the very least, it's better than the bird minigame in Galaxy 2.
I actually kind of liked the bird minigame.
I like the bird minigame. too.
I like this better than that, though.
Really? Because the bird minigame you had a lot more control over.
Yeah, well, but you also don't have the green star in this.
When it comes to comparing this to the blooper surfing, what exactly are you comparing? Control or the fact that you...
Control.
Alright.
The actual level design around the blooper surfing was terrible. But,
Well, for the red coin mission, yeah, but I kind of like the blooper surfing racetrack at the very least. Like the ways you can jump over stuff in that to do shortcuts was actually pretty fun if you were good at it.
yeah, but the actual hairpin turn course was annoying. The, you know, it doesn't help that the water is so goddamn bumpy while you're doing this, especially during the second version of the manta ray surfing, where it's practically a liquid motocross track.
The best advice I can give for this is pump the acceleration. Do not hold it down. You're pretty much just asking for trouble when you hold the button down, because it takes a little bit for Mario to stop, unless you like run into like a really big wave that's in the middle of the course.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I can just generally offer if you want to comfortably pass this. I'm not talking for the sake of speedrunning and shit like that.
Yeah, you want to sort of pump the gas, as it were.
Yeah.
What I want to know is what object far away has set enough gravity to actually cause waves on this thing.
Well, no, what object has gravity from far away to cause this thing to attract together into a figure 8 as just a mass of water? It is like, that's gotta be some really, like, gravity pulling in, like, many different directions at the same time in many different ways at just the equal power.
I'm just going to say that it's probably, you know, blitzball technology on crack right now.
The course itself looks pretty cool, though, I have to say.
Gravity
Yeah.
jet stream.
The water effect is really nice to look at. And you know, that's one thing I can say about GameCube/Wii technology is that when games actually tried to use it, they could...
Welcome to part 5 of the Super Mario Galaxy commentary, ladies and gentlemen. Oh!
Prankster Comet.
Fuck.
G'day, Galaxy is on the verge of impending doom.
Wait, give me Aerosmith and Bruce Willis. Go, go, go!
No, it's except for all the submarine media.
The problem with the Speedy Comet, as we discussed last time, was you're basically going through the same level you've already done in a time limit you probably beat the first time anyway.
Pretty much. It doesn't have, like...
There's no pressure really.
There's not really much pressure because the time limits are very forgiving for one, and then it's just that all the other types of comets are some kind of new content, because Purple Coins, as frustrating they may be, is still new content that you're going after. You're having to, like, find your way around the level, and it's exploration-based. A race with Cosmic Mario is new content. You're doing a race that was not there before. You know, all those things are new content. A Speedy Comet is just you playing an existing mission with a very forgiving time limit that you probably beat the first time, like Lewis was saying, and it is not new content.
There is some new content here. There's a color filter over the screen.
Such
See if you can play with the color filter.
Like, in Galaxy 2, it's really not that much different when you have the clocks to pick up as opposed to here when it's just a set time limit, but at least it feels a little bit more urgent when you're hovering around 30 seconds as opposed to having 3 minutes, you know?
Yeah, and at least collecting clocks is some new content.
Sort of reminds me of the time trials in Crash 3.
Yeah. It's actually very similar to that.
No, wait, new content, those jelly donut rocks are chain chomps, completely different.
Yeah, they change around some slight...
They change.
At least I can show off the alternate way of getting to Dino. What is his name? Dino Piranha or Dino PD?
Dino Piranha.
Who
Yeah,
cares?
this planet exists in the main mission, but you can choose to go here or not go here. I prefer to go here, it's quicker.
I didn't discover this this shortcut until my second playthrough, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but generally, when a Prankster Comet is available, I will be editing to the point where I can just immediately head to it, because there are times where the Prankster Comet will not appear, and you have to go outside to the main hub and bribe this one Luma.
The creepy-looking Luma.
Yeah, to get it to move, and so to make sure you guys don't have to watch me going back and forth. With,
From this point forward, I'm gonna call that guy Luma.exe.
It begins.
Sorry I'm being quiet, I just can't really find anything to talk about here.
Cause it's the same mission we've already done.
Abortion talk in a Mario Galaxy game, something like that, I don't know.
The only thing I really say is that there is a lot of editing actually being done in this playthrough. Because what I'm doing here for most levels, not all of them, because there are some levels I never forget and know like the back of my hand. If there are times where you notice that the launch stars have blue trails on them, it's most likely a level I already did a test playthrough of. Because once you use a launch star, the blue trail never leaves. So it's actually one good point to look out for to see if I already completed the level technically, and I just hit start and hit reset the level so I can actually record it for the commentary's sake. But it's all for the sake of, it's all for the sake of getting a move on, folks, because you don't want to see me falling to my death 50 times in a row.
Sure we do.
No, you don't.
Okay, Mario's feet just touched the ground.
Your audacity is being problematic again, Lewis.
Yup.
Well, at least you're still synced this time, so that's pretty
Yeah, in terms of video sync, you're just fine.
Okay, so anyway, wait, didn't we do this setup so we'd have less recording issues?
Well, that's Lewis's. That's Lewis's fault.
Oh, sure, blame me.
It's always Lewis.
Wait, you liar! You're going to bribe him right
Well,
now.
I gotta show him off at least once.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't. Nothing's saying you have to do anything. You didn't even have to record this game. Stop lying to yourself, John. Stop lying to me. Most importantly, stop lying to me.
The reason John's recording this is because he called it about 3 years ago.
Yeah. You recall the bickering me and Ryan did in the 64 playthrough.
Ryan and I.
Sorry.
And yet you do that all the time in Mario Party.
So now we got our first cosmic comment.
Whenever I correct John's grammar, I swear he always wants to punch me.
I'm just going to, okay, since we're doing grammar nitpicking, this is called the Cosmic Comic, comment.
Cosmic comic.
You did it again.
Damn it.
Yeah, he did. It was like that in the original. Cosmic comic.
Every comet is cosmic, because every comet is in space. Okay, sorry, nitpicking over. What were we talking about?
Well, the comet could technically just be on a planet and not be moving, and it would still be a comet.
Well, technically everything is in space.
True.
Very true.
So, even I am cosmic.
Yes.
He's
Awesome.
Cosmic Lewis, and I like this right here. How we didn't even know you could do that until you...
Best
You're running.
shortcut. You're running around in circles just to taunt him at this point.
He doesn't do like the duck walk.
No, unfortunately not.
I don't like the duck walk. That's the best thing in the game.
I don't even know why you could do it.
I love how Cosmic Mario just sort of hangs his head in shame on the victory screen for that. He's
Well,
just
do you know
like,
about the crouching spin kick?
I still don't know what that's useful for, to be perfectly honest.
No,
I know
it has no use, but I think it's just a reference to the...
It's no use!
To the useless move in Mario 64.
Yeah, I never really got why it was
Wait, you're talking about in this game or something like that?
Yeah, if you hold crouch and then do the spin attack, Mario will do a spin kick.
Oh, I had no idea you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that either.
Breakdancing Mario!
I showed that plenty in Mario Galaxy 2, so we'll be seeing it there.
Oh, I gotta try that out next time. I had no idea
It's
that
completely
exists.
it's completely useless. But
Well, it's like you said, it's about as useless as the spin kick in 64.
There's a spin
Yeah,
kick in 64 too.
Or the spin kick in every Sonic game ever.
Maybe they wanted to make Super Street Fighter Mario champion this shit.
It's they need to give him breakdancing moves.
So they make his moveset in Super Smash Bros. Justifiable.
Yeah, he's like, yo, what's up? Yeah, I'm rapping with the crew.
Wow,
Oh
it
god.
sure is a good thing the Toad Brigade
We're
is
the
here.
Mario Brothers, and plumbing's our game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. The Koopas, the Troopas, the... Ah, fuck, I can't remember the words. Damn it.
Luabano.
or are we just talking about the time Mario and Luigi were in NBA Street?
I have a question. Why are there space bunnies hanging out around the battleships?
Space bunnies.
And they're like hopping up back and forth like over a black hole. It's just...
They're teaching you now that you can do the spin jump thingy. When I've been using this the entire game.
I was about to say, I figured that out first level.
Yeah, just in case you're a dumbass who doesn't experiment.
If I'm not mistaken, there was a tutorial galaxy that's unused in the finished game, and it has like bits and pieces of like other galaxies. And I think this is one of them. So it's possible they intended for this to be one of the very first levels at some point.
Well, a lot of the first stuff that they make in the development of a game ends up getting scrapped later on because obviously the first things you make are gonna suck, and then you get rid of them later. So it might just be part of that, where like their original tutorial didn't end up that great.
Honestly, I prefer that it came out the way it did, because a lot of games these days fall to the temptation of, just to make sure the player isn't a dumbass, spend 3 hours on tutorials and just
Skyward Sword.
Well, I don't mind it if they like introduce new concepts organically as they become relevant. Like Xenoblade sorta did that pretty well, although I do think that the tutorials are a bit text heavy
it's
in that.
fine, but you know, the beginning of the game is when you need to hook players. It's, you know, if you spend hours on end on nothing but how-to.
Or Final Fantasy, like where they always put the 20 most uninteresting hours of the game at the very beginning.
Well, no, that's not as bad as in earlier ones.
Untrue. Final Fantasy VII, the 8 most interesting hours of the game are at the very start.
I've been recording Final Fantasy 3 for my own channel, and that's probably still not going to be up
Final
by the time
Fantasy
this.
3 or Final Fantasy 6?
Final Fantasy 3, the original, the DS remake of the original NES or Famicom one, I should say. And they have some tutorials because job system, but for the most part, it's it's mostly very simple stuff. Okay, I've got this menu here.
There was ship over there.
There's this menu here, and it says attack. I wonder what that does.
Master.
Fire red and leaf green. You've never battled Pokemon before, have you? Bitch, I've been battling Pokemon since before you were programmed.
Can you get off? I like how much he fails at this. There we
You
go.
noticed that I was actually doing a lot of rapid fire crouching because I realized how much I'm sucking. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. We bring up Skyward Sword a lot when it comes to slow beginnings. And you know what? I'm actually going to give a little critique to Dream Team, too. The latest
All
game.
the Mario and Luigi games are very tutorial heavy. Bowser's Inside Story
But Dream
especially.
Team, though, especially, I noticed it the most. Like, I'm about 3 to 4 hours in, and you're still teaching me shit.
Bowser's Inside Story, I was like 10 hours into it. It was still tutorials everywhere.
The Paper Mario games are pretty good about that. Like you've got like tutorial sections that you can do, but you can also skip those if you've played the game before.
I forgot about that too. Johnny almost fell to his death right before the star came out.
If he didn't make that hit, he would have died. Well, I was saying in the Mario and Luigi series, I think that the first game kind of, I guess, like, cursed them a little bit. Because a lot of people thought the first Mario and Luigi game, Superstar Saga, was, like, really unforgiving. Because, you had, like, the save points kind of spread out a bit, and there were some boss fights where if you didn't know what you were doing, they were pretty difficult. And I think it was just flat out that they were kind of afraid of that happening again, so...
Even though now most people consider the first one the best one, but...
Well, I mean, like, every game, they get, like, more and more ridiculous, like, with how you can't fail. Because, like, in Partners in Time, you had the babies, which the babies will not get attacked the turn that you switch to them, which you switch to them when you die, and they are kind of your backup so that you can use one-up mushrooms. Meaning that if you have at least one one-up mushroom in your inventory, you can't possibly lose a battle, because... the babies don't get attacked the turn that you switch to them, and as long as you got a 1-up, they can revive their older counterparts. In Bowser's Inside Story, there's retry clocks, which it's when you lose a battle, you have the ability to use your retry clocks if you have any, and turn back time to the start of the battle. Which, retry clocks, even though you can buy them, I never did buy them, and I still had like 15 of them by the time I was like 10 hours into the game. It was ridiculous how many I found for free. And... now, in Dream Team, they have made it so that when you lose a battle, there's no retry clock item. It just asks you, do you want to try again from the start, or would you like to restart the battle on easy mode?
Yeah, it's a very... Final Fantasy 13 did that, too.
Yeah, oh, you're trying to...
I'm trying to glitch through the thing. Here's the thing is, though, is like with, I forgot what I was gonna fucking say. Thanks.
Does he actually do this? I forget. Let's see.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yep,
There we go!
needs of physics when I'm Mario.
In the time he took for that to actually work, he might as well have just played it legitimately
Yep,
anyway.
yeah, it's pretty,
This one was funnier.
But
And we get to see the duck walk.
it's really weird though. Like in Dream Team, they really do make some like small changes to the formula to make it just a little more accessible. Even though I would actually say that Dream Team is actually pretty.
To the sun with you!
Dream Team is. Curse you, Mario! Music to my ears. Like I actually think Dream Team is right up there in terms
Wait,
of difficulty. With
Back up. Did you just call a toad screaming music to your ears?
Because it's dying.
Okay, you wanna know what happens now? Hey Mario! Misa all sparkly glowy! Misa be friends forever!
Mario, yay!
Anyway, go on, Sean.
Toad, quick! The Separatists are attacking. Go here to the escape pod.
I see the Papa. Where's the escape?
What's really weird about Dream Team though is that in Dream Team now you can save anywhere, but they still insist putting save blocks all over the place.
Well, I understand that because they're... Well, I understand that because they're encouraging you, saying like, okay, this is a place where we think it's a good idea to save because you have something challenging coming.
You wanna know what? Actually, you wanna know why I think it is? They were so used by habit to putting save blocks into these Mario RPGs that by the time they decided to just make you save anywhere, which I actually do like in an RPG, especially a portable one, they just sort of forgot that they could do that and they just put them in there anyway.
Well, like I said, I think it's just kind of suggestion. Like when you see a save block, you know that that's where the designers intend for you to save because you have something challenging coming up. But you can save anytime if you want to.
Yeah, you know, if you've been playing games for a while, seeing an actual save point is a sign.
Is a dead giveaway that something,
It's
something's
like,
coming on.
yeah, something's about to happen. You should probably, you know, save.
If they go into your room with lots of boxes, there must be a shootout in here.
Talking of saving everywhere, though, it does sort of make it too easy when you can do that, so I kind of appreciate games more when they give you a quick save function where you have a one-time save file you can make anywhere, just if you want to get off.
Shin Megami Tensei 4 has a save everywhere option, and that game's still plenty hard.
Well, yeah, but that's because the gameplay itself is fucking obnoxiously hard, like, Jesus.
Well,
But,
at the same time, though, I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of quick saving in portable games because you're gonna have time where your batteries die or something like that happens. Like if it's a portable game.
Well, yeah, the quick saving, I mean, is like, you have this save file, when you load it...
Well, I know
like,
what quick
when
saving
you-
is.
Yeah, well, when you save, it kicks you out of the game, and when you load it, the save is gone.
Yeah, but I just mean like in a portable game, you can have stuff happen like your battery dying or something like that, and just because of stuff like that, I don't think quick saving has much of a place in like portable games as much as it does in console games.
Yeah, to me, if I'm gonna stop playing a game, I just close the 3DS and come back to it later. I'll put it back on the charger, obviously. But,
Well, John, they have to assume that you're playing it on, like, the bus or something.
Well, the quick save is still a save file that sticks around if you turn your system off.
Well, not if you turn it off after loading and you're like still playing the game.
Yeah, but then if you're still in the same dungeon or whatever, you could just quick save again, you know?
Yeah, you just have to remember to do it when you turn it off. Oh god, another one of these. Do we really have to watch all of these?
of course,
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Galaxy 2 with the green stars. Okay, yes, I get it. There's a comet here. Shut up, please. Thank you.
And that's why I just edit to where I get all the green stars.
I know where, but who's taking off on their motorcycle?
Who turned into a werewolf?
Oh no, someone took off on their motorcycle. Come back.
There's coins here. It's new content, right?
Winkler.
Recording again. Let's see. Where's a good sync point? Landing. Good. Okay. Landed on one of the 3 planetoids.
Your Audacity's doing that a lot.
I think it's my USB plug, to be honest.
Ah, I see.
Use a different
This
plug.
crashing is an audacity of the highest order.
No, all it's happening, Mad Space Syndrome.
Yeah.
Yup.
So that's what it's called now, Mad Space
Mad
Syndrome.
Space Syndrome. Yeah, because Mad Space is fucking notorious for that shit.
I can't sing.
You know, being honest, Mad Space really Okay, well, I don't want to say it was the only level that gave me shit for treasure hunting in Adventure 2, but it was the level that gave me the most shit for treasure hunting
It was
in Adventure 2.
humongous.
Although I don't get why people get so mad about the backwards hints though, because those were really easy. It's not on the planet with the thing on it. Okay, well then that means it's obviously on the planet with the thing on it. I don't get why people get mad about that.
Okay, the reason why people think it's bad is because there's some that are obvious like that, and then there's other ones where it's like written backwards, but at the same time, you can have your first hint be like in the highest point in the level, for example.
The first thing when you land in the level, the first thing that happens is Oma Chow says, all of the things are reversed.
Yeah, but how many people talk to Oma Chow?
I'm pretty sure, okay, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you like land right on top of Oma Chow.
No.
Or you might just...
No, you don't. You have
You
to.
don't. You have to
walk
go up.
to
Okay, the Toad Brigade ship just came down. You're bouncing on a toad's head, and I'm recording again.
Thank
Here's
you.
an idea. Stop bothering in this part.
That might be what I'm going to have to do. It's like my headset heard me complaining about having to watch this again. It's like, oh, you don't want to watch it, huh?
Something Magneto joke.
Something about Mad Space?
Magneto space.
Magneto Space.
Welcome to Die, Mario Brothers.
Mario Bros. Welcome to die.
Oh, that's over.
Come, plumber chicken.
I still wonder how they screwed that up, considering it's voice acted like in English and like it's not like broken English. It's actually
Oh,
like,
right.
They might have had the Japanese staff recorded in English.
Yeah.
Well, I just mean it doesn't sound like that. It actually sounds pretty fluent. It's like X-Men, welcome to die. Like it's pretty well enunciated, and it sounds like it's a native English speaker.
I want to point something out in that last area. I've noticed this. The only times that coins are a prominent thing in a level is when they want to mark something for you, and they don't want you to accidentally use your pointer to get rid of what they used to mark it. It's like those coins in that last area exist solely to mark where you can speed jump to.
New Luigi loves doing that.
Yeah.
Have you played it yourself?
No, I watch playthroughs. I'm not buying them. I'm not buying a $30 expansion pack.
Oh, okay.
No.
No, it's only $20
actually.
expansion pack if you download it.
Still.
Hey, at least they're trying to DLC. Or at least decently DLC.
Yeah, not dishonest day one DLC that's already on the disc.
And also no $3 costume packs, so now Luigi can have a pink hat or something.
Nintendo is finally getting the hang of the internet. Rejoice!
I fully expect downloadable stages and characters for Smash 4, by the way.
Well, that's just a fighting game thing.
Well, the thing is that if they make downloadable characters, that kind of defeats the purpose of making a sequel at that point. And they've actually said that while they are considering DLC, characters are not something that they're actively thinking about.
No, they'll just make Ultimate Super Smash Bros. 4 Deluxe Turbo Championship Edition arcade version.
Alright, good luck actually doing this, but I think if you get a large enough Goomba jumping combo, you get a life, is it?
It's 8.
Yeah, it's 8, yeah.
Yeah.
You get a life!
Good luck finding 8 Goombas in one place, let alone comboing them.
Isn't 8 jumping on 8 things in a row the thing that gives you a life in the 2D ones?
Yeah.
I remember thinking there'd be like a secret star here if you did them all though, but it told me in the menu that I had all the stars already, so I'm like, okay.
Well, like jumping them all in the row, that's pretty fucking impossible.
Well, if you would have already gotten the crown on this level before trying that, though, right? Unless if this was the last star you got in your playthrough.
Well, I think I got this one fairly late at the very least though, but then when I went back to the menu and saw that it was the last star and I had all of them, I'm like, okay, I guess not.
That was kind of a nice touch, steaming nostrils.
Which hurt.
Hey Yoshi, would...
Galaxy 2 version's a little bit better, but I still like this rendition enough.
It's so good. It took it so much longer to come back than it really should have.
Yeah, it really should be the definitive Bowser theme.
It really should, because it's such a good song, and I was like amazed that it took them this long to reuse it. Considering how much they love to reuse other songs.
I still like the new Super Mario Bros. DS Castle theme better, but that's
Too fancy. Fancy, too fancy.
You want a speed run, huh? Nope.
Don't touch me.
Nope.
Once again,
you
too
could
fancy.
have landed on the platform.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
below.
there's level design underneath there, but nope. Black hole.
It just occurs to me, this place, this level has so many black holes around it, and yet it's still intact. How?
How is the matter not just getting imploded into it?
Look at that. There's a black hole. There's a black hole down there, literally 2 inches away from Blue Castle Wall.
No, thanks to Bowser's anti-black hole spray, he covered the level design head to toe with.
Had to get that life back to make up for the 2 you lost so easily.
Yes.
Bowser must have hired, like, stereotypically awesome dwarven architects to build his castle, because, my god, they're durable as fuck.
Who does Bowser's exterior decorating?
Chris Dukakis.
Okay, so if I were Bowser, I would blow up the higher platforms first instead of having this chase scene, because then Mario would never win.
Well, the idea of it is that he doesn't want to, just toss, these things at Mario and win that way. He's got to beat him hand-to-hand to get all the satisfaction out of it.
Yeah, it's all part of it. Was intentional. Part of the big picture.
Now, I can understand Bowser having fire breath, though, but that's like meteor breath. Like, how did he even fit that many inside his head?
Magic.
Yeah, I just picture him swallowing, swallowing stones like a dinosaur would have to help digestive systems, and that's what he's shooting at you.
Bowser's hair and eyebrows in this game are outright hypnotizing.
They are.
L'Oreal, because you're worth it.
He's gorgeous.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I remember this taking you a surprising amount of... Actually, does it take you very long? I don't know.
Love this boss fight theme, though.
Oh! Okay, I'll stop.
But it's a shame though, because I can't find a really good loop version of this online where it loops in between the softer orchestral bits and then goes straight into the vocal part.
To be fair, I think it's probably 2 separate sound files in the game, and finding the...
They just overlap them.
Yeah, and they overlap them, and finding the loop in music already is kind of tough enough as it is, even when it's just one song.
Yeah, I think that's what impresses me most about orchestral music is where did they find a way to loop it so cleanly?
Yeah.
Usually through repeat phrases.
Yeah, but still, even if you're playing the same note, it's not going to sound the same way if you're playing it on a live instrument.
Yeah.
You underestimate the quality of professional orchestra players.
Well, I know it's just the way it is though, because I've been playing music since I was
The flute.
Yeah, I've been playing the flute, but it's still a music.
Give me the triangle.
It's called you know what we called that in high school? A pansy marching band instrument.
You want percussion? That's not even music. That's banging on things.
I carried heavier shit than you did.
Hey, I can do a mean fucking clap.
I can play a mean triangle. Give me a triangle, I'll play through the fire and flames on it.
Ding 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 ding.
I just got the image of Chucker just mashing the triangle with this goofy ass fucking grin on his face.
Triangle hero.
It's a good thing that Bowser landed on his stomach rather than on his spiky, shell.
Well, as long as we don't get a Cowbell Hero featuring Blue Oyster Cult.
Hey, I'd buy that.
The game has to be narrated by Christopher Walken.
Huh. Okay.
And you don't know what I'm talking about, do you, Lewis?
Nope. Not a clue.
Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain.
I've got a fever, and it's telling me it needs more cowbell.
Oh!
Speeds... But... Okay. I'm sorry.
You need to watch more Saturday.
I think we all just kind of lost ourselves there for a minute. Anyway.
I think I lost my entire thread of thought there, and speech, because I'm suddenly saying the wrong words.
Are green
What?
stars a thing in space? Like green gas stars that actually have solar systems. Are those a thing? Or not a thing?
I'm not actually sure. I think the spectrum of color runs from red to blue, and then to white.
Yeah, but I don't know if there are any stars that... Hold on, I'm gonna look it
The
up.
dog's trying to answer us.
Yeah, it was like, we have space dogs, though. And to this day, I still don't know how nebulas work.
Space dog.
Damn it. External mic, why do you pick up so much?
Because it's the external...
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
external-
right, there are red star... Hold on, there are red stars and blue stars, yellow and white stars. But are there green stars?
Why don't you, ask Jeeves?
You know what? I will try that.
There are no green stars according to science. Okay.
According to science says, green stars don't exist.
So fuck you, Galaxy 2.
But are there neon aquamarine stars?
Probably not.
What kind of color is that?
Are there pomegranate stars?
Well, aquamarine I think is sort of a greenish-bluish sort of mix-ish.
It's one of those things you get in the massive box of Crayola crayons.
Is there a macaroni and cheese star? How about a laser lemon star?
Hand me the skin color.
If the universe is infinite, then why not?
Wait, laser lemon? That's a thing?
Laser lemon? The cheat. Halt production immediately. Crayola beat us to the punch. Okay, see there, now you guys get a Homestar Runner reference I made.
Well, you said the cheat, and I immediately think of Strong Bad, so yeah.
What is that sound that the web is making when you stretch it?
It's saying, get the fuck off, fat man!
Yeah, I think I asked this in the first take, but I think... Does the sling break if you stretch it for too long?
I don't think it does.
Because it does make some sort of siren-like noise when you hold on.
I think it's just speaking webbies for get the fuck off of me, fat man.
I don't speak Webese.
I think it's more that it releases on its own, like if you take too long.
Yeah. Probably, maybe.
You coward. You could have launched yourself into the Sling Star field and caught yourself and saved
We all
so
know
much
that he
time.
never takes chances with those.
I don't think he knows that the inertia mechanic works within this thing.
Sling Pod
In
Galaxy. Best Galaxy is grind star bits. And live.
Okay, you gotta let go. There we go.
I always get a bit paranoid when I'm pulling myself on these sling pods. There you go. Because I'm afraid that, like, I'll hit the mine directly behind the sling pod while I'm trying to line up my shot or something.
And you can do that, so...
You gonna go for the one-up?
No.
You gonna go for the one...
What does he need the one-up for?
Even I don't really go out of my way for one-ups that much in this game because they just take them away every time you stop playing.
Yeah, but seeing how far the counter can get is fun.
99 every time, except when it's crown.
Well, yeah, what was the cap in 3D Land?
1,110.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
crown.
And then there's, like, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, which has 999.
Only you would play it long enough to get to 9.
Which is very possible to do in a single playthrough. No, I'm kidding.
It is, because of that
From the
goddamn...
cards.
The card
I
level, yeah.
had like 220 something at the end of my first playthrough.
Rosalina's library has been opened. You can witness some character development now.
If you so choose, it is not mandatory for you to experience the game, but we will put it here, tucked away in the side, so that you may experience it. Oh!
If you are someone who actually likes story and character motives and the backstory,
Yeah. Something that's not jammed down your throat, you could say. That, and it's 100% run, so it's pretty much mandatory.
And Miyamoto still thought this was too much, and he shoved it out of the way for Galaxy 2, which sort of pisses me off. Because Rosalina's way more interesting than fucking Lubba. Hate that asshole.
Barn Patrick.
Well, even if it is too much, there was really no point in having it in Galaxy 2 unless we were developing another character for some reason. I just...
well, Galaxy 2, I don't even know what happens, because it's another Star Festival, even though it's only supposed to happen once every 100 years.
It's basically a reboot.
A reboot of one game. Yes.
Yeah, you know, in my headcanon, the timeline... in my headcanon, it's a reboot as a result of the ending of Galaxy 1.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Rebooting the Galaxy, or something.
That is technically the answer, yeah.
Yeah.
Did Miyamoto confirm that, or...?
Miyamoto doesn't do stories.
I guess Pikmin kind of did.
Pikmin 3 I think, had a pretty good story.
Story is too new school. Whenever a game that he develops has a story in it, I just picture him behind the scenes gritting his teeth and letting someone else write it.
Well, hold on, here's the thing. Does Pikmin 3 have a good story, or does it have good characters?
Well, it doesn't really matter. It has good characters. The plot is... Okay, it doesn't need to have a good plot to have a good story. Okay, I'm getting really semantic-y and nitpicky here.
Repeat that.
Okay, plot is a sequence of events. Like, the plot of Star Wars is Luke leaves his planet and then finds Leia and then blows up the Death Star. Characters are all of the stuff that happens in, like, the development and the dialogue and the stuff, and the story is all of that put together. So you can have a good story without much of a plot, is basically my point here. So I do think that Pikmin 3 and Galaxy do have good stories, even if the plots are relatively simple.
Yeah.
Definitely.
In fact, a lot of the best stories have really simple plots.
You know that Rosalina pretty much lives her life seeing through only one eye?
That is what a Pika bag does to you. It's also what my haircut does to me. God damn it, why did I have to go
Well, no, but see,
Leon's?
in real life hair, you can see through. That looks pretty fucking solid.
Well, here's the thing. The library cuts out Rosalina's Hot Topic phase, and so, but however, the thing is that even though the black dye grew out, she used so much hair gel that she can't fix her hairstyle into anything else now, so she's kind of stuck that way.
Yeah, it also cuts out the time she experimented with the white-looking star bits, if you catch my drift. Wink, wink. She doesn't like talking about that.
Ha. Oh god.
This one.
Through the poison swamp.
These are some really circular islands, I just want to say.
Some of them even overlap, making even some more circular islands.
It's like amoebas.
I'm trying to think of a pun in there, somewhere. Fillboard!
It looks less like land formations, like someone took a grass dripper and dripped bits of grass onto the level.
Oh, they're playing SimCity,
Indeed.
You have a grass chopper tool in that?
I think you can terraform to some extent.
Well, in SimCity 4 you can.
You have like there's terraforming even as far back as SimCity 2000 you can alter the land.
In SimCity 4 it was the most free though, because like you could kind of just have like a free terraform mode at the beginning of a game.
SimCity 2000, you mean the one that's better than the current version and is for a fraction of the price?
The thing about SimCity 5 is I think it has some legit good ideas, it's just that it's hampered by other things.
Like the Always Online.
Always Online.
Well, I mean, like, okay, going back to it, like, in all honesty, I understand that the always online thing is really terrible for a lot of people, but for me personally, it doesn't really hurt me that much though. But the thing that I'm gonna say about it is that I actually did go back to try to play it again the other day. That game has been out for like 7 months, and I'm amazed that it's been this long and they still haven't added bigger maps to the game.
Well, is it a financial success at this point in time?
It sold 1 million copies in its first week. I'd assume it was a financial success. It wasn't a...
Well, it depends.
critical
Well,
success.
1 million copies in its first week is only a financial success if that's more than that got more money than what it cost to make the game. Because Tomb Raider, the new rebooty one, sold 3 million copies in its first month, and that was considered a failure by Square Enix. So,
Which is ridiculous, yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's only ridiculous because that they needed like 5 or 6 million.
They also said it was unacceptable that it sold better in Europe than here, when Tomb Raider has always been bigger in Europe.
So, yeah, it's just I mean, I can't imagine a SimCity game. Well, actually, you know what? It might cost more because they have to run servers all the time because of the always online stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I just find it amazing that it's been out this long, and, like, bigger maps, aside from the always online DRM, that was, like, the single biggest thing next to that they were wanting, people were wanting in the game, like, wanting, you know, changed. Because the maps are too small, and, like, people think that you actually, it's really annoying though because they keep adding more buildings and more city specializations and more things that you can put into your cities. And it just, like, even with the starting amount of buildings, there just wasn't enough room to do everything you wanted to do. Like, you had to, like, be a really, really fancy player if you wanted to fit everything into one map, and a lot of people didn't like that, and it's just that I'm amazed that 7 months later they still haven't added bigger maps into the game.
well, the engine might not be optimized to run a map that big.
I hate to say it though, but I actually, I got to experience the game. I didn't get to play it though. They had people on stage playing it at E3 when the game, shortly after the game was revealed, because I think it was revealed March of last year, and then it was, a playable demo was being showcased at E3, like a few months later. That demo at E3 had bigger maps than the final game.
Oh, so we've got Sonic 06 syndrome where
Yes.
the beta was better than the final game. Oh.
Terminator 2!
Alright,
Well,
now it's time to cheat the level.
I tried playing nice.
You're walking on nothing.
I'm walking on sunshine.
Walking on Galaxy! But yeah, I've seen a demo of SimCity 5, and it had bigger maps than the final game. I'm wondering if the bigger maps are being saved for, like, a large scale... Well, if I'm not mistaken, Space Meat would all be dried out and devoid of any, like, water.
And radioactive.
Actually, yeah, radioactive, it would be dried out. It would also be frozen solid.
But it wouldn't be dirty.
Wall chicken is probably old, full of bugs and mold, and would give you all sorts of old-timey diseases, but, you know, that still fills your health. As well as the trash can turkey that you get in Streets of Rage 2 that's probably covered in piss and stuff. So, you know what, I don't want to hear it. Space Chicken will be able to heal you just fine, thank you very much.
On the plus side, it's too cold out there for bacteria to grow, so you won't have to worry about salmonella or anything.
See, it's automatically better. Small chicken is disgusting.
I still think trash can beat 'em up chicken's the worst, though.
To me, though, it makes makes a little more sense than wall chicken.
What about all those stuff in Bioshock Infinite?
Yeah, but who's throwing away a full turkey dinner with all of the stuffing and the trimmings
All the
on a
fixings.
full silver plate, mind you, too?
You need to play Bioshock Infinite, Ted.
I don't understand the logic of this room. You can only switch gravity planes by taking these specific little ramps.
They're weight activated.
Yeah, every wall has its own center of gravity.
And once again, a black hole becomes a star, so it happens backwards. So we're time traveling.
I do like this level as an homage to Luigi's Mansion because that game was underappreciated at the time.
Oh yeah, it was at the time. I'm glad it got more appreciation. Plus, Luigi's Mansion 2 was amazing.
I feel like it happened, like, sometime in the Wii's lifespan, like, around, I think like sometime like around 2009-10 when the Wii stopped getting really good games frequently, people went back to their GameCube libraries and said, oh wait, this isn't as bad as we bitched about it back then. Because like the only reason that people bitched about Luigi's Mansion was because it wasn't a Mario game at launch.
That's not a Mario game.
And now people are bitching about too many Mario games at launch, and then we wanted another Luigi's Mansion.
Bring back Luigi.
So things just are...
So we get the ear of Luigi.
Well, simply put, we have been getting way too many Mario games lately.
You're just gonna ignore it?
Of course.
Well, actually, getting a one... I gotta imagine what getting a life mushroom as a ghost would... That's just confusing, man.
We're not dead.
Would it just turn Boo Mario into
It
normal
would
Mario?
be the equivalent of a poison.
Oh, so you're showing what
Mushroom.
Luigi says if you go up to him as Boo Mario.
I have a hard time imagining Boo Mario as sexy to all the other...
I was actually gonna say, the Boos are infatuated with Boo Mario, but...
He's the Italian stallion.
Oh god. That was actually the name of Sylvester Stallone's porno flick.
They can't resist body hair and magnificent mustachios.
Body hair?
Ghostly body hair.
Dead body hair.
Dead body, yeah. It is
Well,
white.
well, considering Boos don't have anything other than faces, facial hair and body hair are the same to them.
Ba-da-doo.
I like how Luigi says, with me, Luigi, even though he really doesn't do a whole lot. Well, actually, you know what? He does most of the work. It's just Mario's... The Find Luigi missions are basically the equivalent of Mario picking up Luigi from school.
And then Luigi is the younger brother. It does work.
Remind me, there are two separate Luigi models, one for his...
Yeah, one for his NPC, one for his when you're playing as him. His playable model is higher polygon, and it also is shorter.
I see.
It has a brighter color palette, too.
Yeah.
That's the difference I noticed most, is that...
Yeah. He's lighter and he looks better.
Yeah, he's brighter, he has a higher polygon count, and he's also shorter. So he's closer to Mario's height.
His animation there looked like something out of Mario and Luigi, though, so I was trying to hear... Arriba, da padaro.
Love that shit. And Dream Team brings it back.
I think all of them do it, it's
Yeah.
just that they change what they say in each one, and crotch shots! Now, we actually haven't had a good shot of the background yet, but I like the background of all those ghosts going to that one point, and it's like super, super bright in the one point they're all coming together at.
That is pretty neat.
It's like they're circling around the sun. Oh, you can see the Olimar ship in the bottom, right there. I didn't notice that.
Where? Wait, you can see the space junk ship?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the bottom right.
Or was.
Well, it was. Now we don't see it now.
Huh.
But
Oh wait, I see. I saw it. It was in the left there.
Yeah.
That's odd.
An awesome homage or recycling assets for cheapness.
They might have had a whatever this level's called. They might have had a part where you were on that ship again in this, or maybe they had originally decided to put that planetoid into this and they just forgot
Oh, the
to take it
visor's
out.
down, stuff just got real. He was born to be wild, but he was so wild that he got killed, and now he's wild again and dead.
I do like the blatantly cartoonish bone shapes and hunks of meat for no apparent reason.
why is the meat here?
Okay, so John, if wall meat is gross, how about floating space obstacle course meat?
That
It still looks damn edible.
it does.
It looks edible, but you bounce off it when you hit it, so it's probably elastic, which probably means it's a bitch to chew.
It probably got rubber tired in the microwave.
Why am I seriously considering this right now?
The meat and the bones are the Boo's meat and bones from when he was alive.
Oh, he has a lot of meat and bone.
He has a lot of
skulls.
too.
Do you know whose bones are on display in this museum? Your bones. My bones. Bones.
How morbid.
I thought you were quoting a villager meme for a moment.
Yeah, I'll stuff you right next. I'll stuff you right in my museum next to your brother.
This mission actually did give me a little trouble though on my first time. If only because I didn't know about the shortcut at first.
Well, you demolished it there. He wasn't even close.
Yeah, this is my first time too. Not that it really means anything.
Your first time always means something, John.
Yeah, because I don't have to edit.
I'm sorry, did I just kill the commentary? I apologize.
Your regularly scheduled commentary will be back after these Ted awkward moments. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. So you mean the commentary is dead in the Ghostly Galaxy?
Yes.
Ah.
John.
That's just the pun we needed to get this going again.
Good job, John.
It's all intentional here in Brain Scratch commentaries.
Intentional.
No, it's not. Actually, it's very stupid, annoying, and it doesn't stop.
The puns will never stop on my watch.
Okay, next up...
So you're planning on becoming a full member, Neil?
I like the, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it though, but I like the Photoshop people did. You know that Obama political ad, like where his like picture is like red, white, and blue, and it says hope.
Yeah.
Somebody like photoshopped that, but to have my face, and it says bad puns.
There are a lot of things like that.
It was a thing to do in 2008, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people like edited like the Obama political
especially between Obama and Joker.
Luigi, you can't jump down from... Okay, actually, you know what? I'm complaining about somebody not wanting to jump down a 2-story drop, which would normally be reasonable, but this is Luigi, so...
He could just take the warp pipe that's
Well,
right
I'm
next
sorry.
to him.
I like my legs.
He could just take the warp pipe that's right next to him.
And he doesn't break
ground
his
level.
legs getting here, presumably landing on the same stone that you land on.
So what do you think, like, after this year ends and the year Luigi is over, do you think Luigi will ever get this much attention in the spotlight ever again?
I don't know. I guess the money is gonna decide it though. But what I'm really jealous of is that all the children born this year, they'd be like, you know, what sign in the zodiac are you? They'll be like, I was born in the year of Luigi.
So what second stringer are they going to do next year? The year of Slippy Toad?
I'm open for the year of Wario, personally.
Oh god, I pity the boy who's born that year.
Wario, you will grow up to be a big fat nose picker and farter like moi. You are destined for greatness. You shall run a company while picking your nose on your laptop. While riding a motorbike.
Didn't we already do this, or... Oh wait, there's going to be a secret star here, isn't there?
What about the year of Captain Falcon?
No, second stringers. We need to do the year
The
of
year
Samurai
of Captain
Goro.
Falcon will never come, as far as Miyamoto is concerned.
Yeah, it's so odd, like... That's so odd of Miyamoto's, like, opinions on, like, F-Zero have been, though, because, like, F-Zero GX, like, Miyamoto apparently really didn't like that game. They weren't pleased with how it turned out, and they felt like it was too hard or something like that. And then on top of that, they're saying, like, people want a new F-Zero game, but we honestly have no idea what you could do with a new F-Zero
Except
game.
that the guy who's making Mario Kart 8 said he would rather make an F-Zero than another Mario Kart right now.
Well, it's just Miyamoto at this point who doesn't want to make an F-Zero game. From what I've read, everybody else is on board with it. So
Yeah, he's like, what's crazy was that Miyamoto's saying, like, I have no idea what you could do with a new F-Zero game, so the Nintendo Land attraction is good enough for the fans.
Casually points at the new Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a piss poor excuse to not continue the franchise.
No, that was I was just gonna say, like, the Nintendo Land game is good enough. Okay, well then, is that Zelda Nintendo Land game good enough for all the Zelda fans who want an HD Zelda game? Of course not.
Of course not. It's ridiculous though. Just like I don't get like what Miyamoto's whole thing with F-Zero's been though, but he just seems like really against the idea of making a new game. But then again, they can get anyone else to make it.
Maybe he's just angry at everyone who ever quoted Falcon Punch on the internet.
Your fault.
Probably. It's like I know that he didn't like F-Zero GX, which is it's kind of a shame though because I know a lot of
that's
fans,
my favorite one.
a lot of fans think F-Zero GX is like the best game. I mean, the only thing that I've ever heard people complain about in GX
Is that
is
it's too
just-
hard. Yeah.
Well, not just that it's too hard though, but the way that the story mode is played out is just so stupid. How you unlock new chapters.
Well, wow, what's so stupid about it?
It's the fact that you don't progress from chapter to chapter just from beating another one. It's the fact that you have to, like, buy the next chapter from completing races, and it's, like, ridiculous, like, where it's, like, completing, like, 50 races for a chapter sometimes.
Yeah, it's needless padding.
It's really, really needless padding. Like, it's ridiculous to the point where nobody has ever enjoyed that story or anything about
Yeah,
it.
but the rest of the game is really good. So
Yeah, the rest of the game is good. I'm not saying it's not. It just that the main story is like the one thing that is just terrible, and like really needlessly padded though. Because
Well, it's a story mode in a racing game too, so it's not like you're expecting all that.
well,
much.
it actually has a lot to it if you actually do try to experience it though, because it has like full cutscenes and everything, and they like really try to give everyone like their own personalities. It's just that no one will ever experience it.
You know what I think? I think, like, Nintendo as a whole just needs to stop doing what Miyamoto says every time he says it.
Well, you know my opinions on Sticker Star and what Miyamoto said about that.
Yeah, we've been over... Actually, I think we went over that during the last take of this. Or did we go over it in parts 13 through 24? I don't really remember.
just do it. Just do it again.
Yeah, just do it again. I'm not gonna
I'm
stop.
always up for more bitching about Sticker Star. It just...
Sticker Star.
Well, on top of, like, the main gameplay being pointless, it's just... the charm in the characters and the story is one of the best things about Paper Mario games, especially Super Paper Mario, where I actually think that has arguably the best written story in any of the Paper Mario games.
I think it does.
Here's the thing though. 'Cause you, Ted, you said you still haven't experienced it. Well, you played Partners in Time.
No, I played Partners in Time bored the shit out of me.
Well,
and
here's the thing, because I haven't experienced Sticker Star, and I don't really plan on to for a very long time now. But if Sticker Star left you very empty, I think Dream Team will fill the gap, because the character, the character development and characters in general are pretty damn good. And I'm only about like 8 hours into the game at this point, but I've already found myself laughing pretty hard with a few instances in the game.
Dream Team has been great. Like, I'm really glad though, because Sticker Star left such an empty void in me. Just that Sticker Star, it's just, we already talked about the main gameplay being pointless. The fact that you can run from any battle and there's no penalty for it. And, like, the enemy disappears from the field as though you defeated them. The fact that you don't level up and you don't grow stronger from doing battles. The only thing you earn from battle is coins, which are completely expendable and you can find normally, which I've never needed the amount of coins you get from battles. You have way too many, even as it is. You have the fact that the only characters that, like, say a damn word in the game are, like, Bowser Jr., Kamek, and that's pretty much it. Bowser never even says a dang word in the game. Which sucks because he was the best character.
I love how there's just a list that we can go off of.
Yeah, and it's just that there's no story, and it's ridiculous though because in an Iwata Asks they did say that they had a story plan at one point, and like Miyamoto, he offhand said that, you know, he was just saying offhand, not really telling them to do this though, just saying that you don't need a good story to have a good Mario game. When they showed him the story when he was checking in during development, he said that, and they basically took that as, okay, we need to throw away the story.
Well, that happened to Star Fox Adventures too, where it's just like, that guy looks like Fox, oh, now we have to make this a Star Fox game.
Story takes precedence in an RPG.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily precedence, but it you have to have something there, you know. It's not.
You know, the concept of role playing is playing as a character, which necessitates a story of some kind. Otherwise, there's no role to play.
And the thing is about Sticker Star also, the bosses in that game are like the worst thing.
The bosses are obnoxious because you need to have such a obnoxiously specific set of stickers in order to beat that without pulling your hair out. Like the first time I played through Sticker Star, the Pokey boss in the second chapter took me forever, and then I died, and I come back with the baseball sticker, and I beat it in like 2 seconds. So it's just a matter of grinding. Which I didn't. I didn't think you could grind in a game with no levels, but okay, now I'm done.
Yeah, it's not even a matter of challenge. It's just either have the correct sticker, beat the boss in one turn. Don't have the correct sticker, be there for an hour and a half using up every sticker you have.
Bouldergeist.
Bouldergeist, yes. We need to get off Sticker Star. We need to talk about something.
Almighty. This boss on Daredevil Run. My god. Wait, are we gonna fight the Daredevil Run boss of this in the same part?
I think we are.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, let's see how many minutes we have left. Well, we have 4 minutes left in the video, so
Yeah.
I think it's a safe bet.
God.
Enjoy.
Nintendo seems to really love bosses with floating hands.
They also, as of late, as of late, like bosses that take fucking forever. It's actually one of my only real major critiques I have with Dream Team at the moment, is that boss fights take a little longer than necessary.
That happened. That happened in. Actually, you know what? That happens in all of the Mario RPGs. Super Mario RPG had bosses that took forever.
I notice it the most though in Dream Team. It's because, you know, the whole thing with Dream Team, well, I should say Mario and Luigi in general, is that you gotta have those segments where you're avoiding the boss's attacks, and sometimes their attacks go on for fucking ever, and you gotta constantly do it over and over again. You know, boss fights go from like 6 to 7 minutes, and you're doing the exact same thing over and over again.
The Partners in Time had that problem. I remember, like, one of the bosses took me like 20 minutes. And I mean, like, RPG bosses should be like challenging and longer than a normal fight, mind, but not like 30-minute long. Unless if you're fighting that one guy from Final Fantasy XII.
Unless it's a Shin Megami Tensei boss, then if it takes less than half an hour, you're probably over-leveled.
No, most of the time you can get by. It's just a matter of dying over and over to figure out what the weakness is. And then you can do it in like 5 minutes.
No, the worst case I've run into as of this recording was, it was a Final Fantasy 13 boss. The Aster Protoflorian, I think it was called.
Oh god, you know what? Every boss in that game has way too much HP, and you pretty much have to break them to do any damage worth a shit with anything.
Yeah, you gotta make them stagger. And the process of making that guy stagger was, because he constantly switches, he does barrier shifts, so you have to constantly switch up what kind of spells you have to do to him. It took me about 30 plus minutes to beat the damn thing, and if it wasn't for the fact that I liked the boss theme so much in Final Fantasy 13, is the only reason why I kept going forward, because that's damn near, that was near a deal breaker for me.
I'm trying to remember what the longest RPG boss I've ever. Final Fantasy VI. That one dude at the top of the tower that casted Ultima at the end.
The Magimaster.
Yeah, that guy took me like a half an hour, and then he cast Ultima at the end, and I died. So, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I hated that guy too when I first played too.
And is this attempt number 1?
No, this is whoa, you talking about
You can tell by the number of star pits he has.
Yeah, I have I don't remember how much I had when the level started, but yeah, you can generally tell how many tries I did take.
No, he has 9. This could have been his first try.
I don't think it was
second,
though. I think it
probably.
might have been my second.
Yeah.
Now the star bits, I think we mentioned this in the first take. You said the star bits actually have a bit of homing properties to them.
Yes, they
Yeah,
will.
somewhat.
If you watch as you're shooting at the rocks, they will.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you're
see,
right.
they're-
You're
yeah,
right.
see?
Yeah, I never.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Huh.
It's slight.
You mean I don't have good aim?
Well, if it didn't do that, no one would ever hit anything with anything, and the mechanic would be really useless, so...
It's use deficient. It's not useless.
Now they bring this boss back from Boss Blitz Galaxy, right? In
Yep.
Galaxy 2.
And make it a time trial.
Time trial.
At the very least, they circumvent the usual Nintendo formula where instead of hitting this boss 3 times to kill him, you hit him twice.
Oh,
Totally different.
rule of 2. Nintendo is such rebels.
It later becomes a puzzle boss where it goes 23 is number 1. It's just the pattern I assume every time there's 3 of anything in a Nintendo game too. 3-1. And I'm usually right.
Yeah, these planets may look like they're flat platforms, but they're not. You can still go on the underside of them.
Yeah, there's like
Somehow.
crystals and stuff on the other side that you can see right there, which is kind of your hint to do that. And hey, he actually does it for this one.
I can't believe that you still do the floaty, flowery wind thing without having the vibrate on your controller on though.
You can do it, it's just timing.
I thought it wasn't possible without the vibrate on.
Yeah, and yet I didn't even know that you could that there was like vibrations to tell you when to do it. I pretty much just always did it like at the last possible second, and I still got
I
it.
always have vibrate off on all of my controllers except when I'm fishing in Persona 4. So, I didn't even know vibrate was a thing for this.
Well, Galaxy is another one of those games that, unless it's like mandatory for something like, well, it's not exactly mandatory, as Emil has just proven, but Galaxy vibrates your controller for everything. Collecting star bits, spinning attacks, getting hit, all that. It drains your battery like nothing else. Galaxy was the game that made me realize I should probably start getting rechargeable batteries for my Wiimote.
You know, I did buy rechargeable batteries, but the thing is that I really hate the feeling of the rechargeable battery back on my hands. So I'd rather just pay for the batteries and have the controller feel more comfortable.
Well, I mean, like, just get rechargeable double A's. Don't get, like, you know, the...
Oh, rechargeable double A. Oh.
Yeah, you can do that,
Yeah.
but you know, the rechargeable batteries in my controllers actually aren't any bigger than, you know, the regular battery cover. So you can't really tell while you're playing.
Well, the ones that I got had like this big rubber padding
Yeah,
thing
some
on the
of them
back.
are obnoxious like that.
And at some point it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like
It's the same reason why I can't wear the Wii condom either.
yeah. Mine are like some kind of durable, rechargeable, Duracell, rechargeable battery packs, or maybe they're Energizer, that was it.
Well, I actually think they've updated a bit on the Wii condom because I recently bought the new Wii Motion Plus controller, that has the Wii Motion Plus built inside, and it came with its own Wiimote jacket. And I don't know, it's been a while since I've last used a Wiimote with the Wiimote jacket on, but it feels like it's made out of a different material, and it's not as bulky as before either.
They updated that, and I think they also changed the back of the controllers recently because you have the sync button on the outside of the battery cover now, which was a much-needed change.
Syncing your Wiimotes was a pain in the ass on the original Wii, and it's so much easier on the Wii U.
Oh, it's so much easier on the Wii. And then on top of that, they also have it so that the little thing that you press the button in with is like on the Wiimote strap now. So it's like that you have like the thing to press the button in like on the controller as well.
Yep. Very, very, very
I
nice.
love, by the way, the reason the Wii jacket and strap exist, and the reason you have to constantly be bombarded by reminders that you should be using your Wii jacket and you should be having the wrist strap on the whole time. I took my strap off, the Wii remote, by the way, just because.
Nah, leave it on.
It's because Americans don't know not to throw their
I
controller
like
into the TV.
I like to play helicopters with mine.
No, here's the thing. The problem with it is that they had all of these warnings. You know, be careful when you're swinging this thing. It came with the wrist strap. I think the original wrist straps like broke though, so
Yeah, it's that the wrist straps are too thin, so they replaced them with a thicker model.
Yeah.
okay.
That was really quick, and then they had the jackets that came out like a few months later.
Yeah, but you know what? They have to put a warning everywhere. They have to put a warning at the beginning of every game now, just so that no one can say I didn't see it.
Well, no, you know, do you know about the lawsuit where a lady spilled coffee on herself and she sued, I think it was McDonald's, for serving her hot coffee, and
Yeah.
so that's why on every coffee cup you get, it says warning, coffee may be hot.
McDonald's actually lost that. They had to do that. Nintendo actually has...
What?
Nintendo actually had similar lawsuits, believe it or not. When Mario Party came out...
The Mario Party one.
Yeah, the Mario Party is one's the most famous.
How can any court be stupid enough?
I think this is before McDonald's actually had the warning hot coffee things on their coffee.
Yeah.
Why would you
Because
need...
you can sue for, you can blame someone else for your own stupidity, because that's how the American legal system
Pretty
works.
Yeah, it's all loopholes and technicalities.
I know that there's currently a lawsuit going on, people suing Nabisco, saying that double stuffed Oreos are only actually 180, or only actually 185%.
Oh, Jesus Christ! It's semantics, people.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Okay, our justice system isn't run by rock stupid computers, okay? There's no excuse for that kind of thing happening. Humans make these decisions.
I remember there was also, like, I think speaking of Nabisco, I remember that Chips Ahoy got sued because their slogan was 100 chips delicious, and there was a woman that actually counted the number of chips and like in the bags, and she was like, they're not actually selling the 100 chips, so it's false advertising, and sure enough they actually lost.
That's... you can sue for anything.
Who cares?
You really can.
I don't know what's worse, that these people actually win or that they exist at all.
It's clear they're just looking for money.
I don't know what's worse, the stuff that's actually going on, or the fact that we are talking about the American legal system while going through Gusty Garden
Hey,
Galaxy.
that's not the worst of it that we did earlier this playthrough. May I remind you?
But we have the episode coming up where we don't talk about the game once in the entire part.
Hey, if we could bullshit this much about the American legal system in the Mario Galaxy playthrough, I'm starting to wonder why we canceled Phoenix Wright.
Because there was a convenient movie that had all three cases in one movie.
Talking of interesting on-screen things, the caterpillars here. Shouldn't we be talking about that?
I like the caterpillar. I think it's really cool. I like how these apples look too. Like, there's something about food in Super Mario Galaxy where they just make it look amazingly delicious.
Not as much as Pikmin 3, though.
But would you say they're magically
Well,
delicious?
Pikmin 3 has has technology on its side.
Well, I would say that they're magically delicious, but then I would get sued for false advertising because the food's not actually magical.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Keeping, like, even just ignoring the caterpillar in there, would you really want to eat an apple that had Mario's disgusting, dirty feet on it? I mean, think about how much Goomba guts are on his shoes.
If you're going to talk about what's on apples before you eat them, I always rinse my apples because I know at some point they've been sprayed with pesticide. Think about that for a moment.
So what's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
I suddenly can't feel my right arm.
Not feeling your right arm.
What?
Okay.
How random.
Oh, Major Burrows. Yeah.
So what happens to his pupils when you just sort of knock them out? They just sort of disappear.
I always feel bad about beating this guy up because he just looks so cute and fluffy.
It's so fluffy!
We're used Donkey Kong Jungle Beat asses.
Nah, not really. It's just the fur shading technology.
I never played Jungle Beat, so I was like amazed when I saw that.
Jungle Beat's a pretty good game. I feel like it gets a lot of unnecessary flack for using the bongos, even though it actually does control pretty good.
Yeah, I actually never played it though because the fact that it uses the bongos and the fact that it had that title, I didn't know it was even a platformer for years. I thought it was just another Donkey Konga game.
Yeah, that was its biggest problem, I think, is
Marketing.
sort of odd advertising. So, yeah, it's one of the most underappreciated GameCube games, which is odd because the entire GameCube library is underappreciated as a whole, except for like
Yeah.
Prime and stuff.
I know that it got re-released on the Wii though, so it's not like a hard-to-find game anymore.
I hear that the Wii version is different in a lot of, like, they changed the level design in some places from the GameCube port, but I haven't played the Wii version, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I wasn't even aware there was a Wii version.
It's a new play control version.
I wasn't even aware there was a GameCube port. It's, what, did they port it to the same system it was originally on?
The GameCube version. I don't know how well it would play on the Wii though, because part of what makes the game control well is that you actually have like the bongos are like buttons, so you're actually touching something. When you're playing with the Wiimote and you're just shaking it, it's not as.
So what do you get? Like 2 Wiimotes, like you're drumsticking it?
No, you use your Wiimote and your nunchuck, and I think you shake the Wiimote to move.
Oh,
right,
you're
and you
using 2
shake the
Wiimotes
nunchuck.
to bang on the bongos.
No, you use 2 Wiimotes and you're waving them in the air like a jackass.
Oh,
good,
like
a
every
real
Wii game ever. If I wanted to wave my Wiimote in the air like a jackass, I'd play No More Heroes. Then I would actually be playing as a jackass.
So speaking of motion controls, does anyone here actually like the Kinect?
Nope.
Does anyone actually like the Kinect?
Rare's wants to make a Banjo-Kazooie game for the Kinect.
I have no judgment because I've never tried it. I couldn't afford.
I've only used it one time, and that was for a game of Fruit Ninja when I was at my buddy's apartment in Pittsburgh.
I tried using it, it didn't work very well, and it
Well,
was just like...
part of the thing when it comes to motion control is how it's programmed. So, I'm not sure how well the Wii, the Kinect controls on how well the technology itself works. I do know that even if it worked well, some games might not be programmed well for it.
Well, it's just, the way that the Kinect works is really, really simple. It's just that you have 2 cameras that are, like, looking at the environment and trying to perceive it in 3D so that they can tell, like, how you're moving. And
Yeah.
they're programmed, like, with information of this is what a person is generally shaped like so that it can lock onto you. And, the way that the, Wii and PlayStation Move are both programmed is that they have an accelerometer and a gyroscope in them. And the Wii has a camera in the controller looking at the TV, whereas the PlayStation Move is a camera on the TV looking at the controller. So, the Wii and PlayStation Move pretty much work the same, it's just that they're backwards in terms of like the usage of an infrared camera. But the Kinect is like completely different. Just like, I don't know, Microsoft always acts like everyone loves the Kinect and that everyone thinks the Kinect is like the greatest thing to ever happen, yet I've never met one person that even remotely
Well, that's
likes
a
it.
marketing thing. If they say people like it, people are going to believe that people like it, even if people don't actually like it.
But I've never met one person that even remotely likes it.
You know, at some point you just gotta give up, though, because, like, Nintendo tried to make stuff like the Wii Zapper a thing for a little bit, but once they realized, okay, nobody likes this thing, they just sort of stopped, and they quietly let it die, so why can't Microsoft do the same thing?
Because Microsoft is a fucking idiot. Need I remind you about the Mojave commercials?
Oh god, that, yeah.
You might need to remind me about the Mojave
refresh my memory.
commercials.
Basically, it was their way of making Windows Vista look good by putting people who'd never touched Vista in front of Vista for 20 seconds so that they would say, hey, this is awesome.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think I recall seeing Subway advertisements.
And then basically the idea was they called it Mojave when they showed it to these people, taped their reactions, made it into commercials, and at the very end they'd say, this is Windows Vista. and then
They're like, I can't
it would
believe
be
it.
like, oh, it doesn't suck. But you see, the thing is, you can't actually decide whether an operating system, let alone Vista, sucks or not, just by looking at it for a few seconds. You have to have time with the computer.
Because before Vista came out, like, all the press was saying that it was, like, the greatest thing to ever happen because they had only, like, played it, like, at demo stations or, like, inside of private areas. They hadn't actually tried running their stuff on it.
One of the things about Vista is that it's a memory hog. You won't notice that until you've had time with the computer.
I think it was just that the world wasn't really ready for Vista, though, because people were, like, trying to upgrade their XP computers into running Vista, and it required, like, a heck of a lot of VRAM to be able to do what it wanted to do, and it was just that people trying to upgrade their computers into Vista just were having grand old terrible times, and it didn't help that Vista was also, had some really weird quirks to it, both in terms of compatibility, and the fact that when it came out, I recall there being a thing, like, if you had sound playing on your computer, it would actually hurt your network connection. Yeah, it was that, I forget, like, what the technicalities were, though, but when Vista came out, you actually would get a slower network connection if you had sound playing on your computer.
The two have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean.
I'd like to point out that we're playing Mad Space on bullet hell mode right now.
You mean
Crazy Gadget.
Crazy Gadget, whatever.
Crazy Gadget was the Sonic Adventure 2 level where the gravity gimmick actually sort of worked most of it.
But this was actually before I found the Mario and Sonic at the 2012 Olympic Games remix. Have you guys ever heard that version?
It's okay.
Really good. They made it a little more spacey. That's a word.
Luigi.
How did he write that letter while holding on to that thing?
How did he take that picture?
Tree is my best friend. I will never let him go. Ever.
How did he take that picture? How did he mail it to us? If he could get someone to take the picture and mail it to us for him while he was on the tree, why didn't he just ask for help getting down?
Luigi selfies. He sent it through Instagram.
Hey bro, the tree climbing lessons are a total success. Oh, get down already! I kinda slept through the coming back down session.
Fucking jump.
Even though it's a rock and not a tree.
Alright, to mention something about lives, your life counter does reset when you save. However, whenever you leave and exit the hub world, so do the lives that are scattered around there, and there's a new life that gets added to the hub world every time you open a new area.
But that also means that you have to spend like 5 minutes looking for all those lives.
Here's an idea. Lives don't freaking matter in this game.
If you want to spend 10 minutes grinding lives in the hub world, it's obscenely easy to get up to 99 within minutes.
Yeah.
Well, usually the 5 lives that the Toad has is enough. Or 20 if you're playing Luigi mode.
But you know, at this point, I just wonder why they don't just let you save your life count.
What kind of fun fact were you saying about?
Oh, I was saying, fun fact is that if you've actually managed to lose all your lives in either of these games, for some odd reason they changed the game over screen text from pink to yellow in Galaxy 2.
Huh.
I'm not sure what the significance of that is, but they did.
It's the little things in life.
I think I've only gotten the game over once in this.
I would say I don't think I've ever gotten a game over in this.
I got in a game over twice as Luigi.
I think, no, wait, I didn't even get a game over in the perfect run. I had too many lives at that point.
You can get 99 lives on Starship Mario really easy, especially with like that dice game that you can play to get lives.
Yeah. The way he bounces just makes me feel like a jackass.
Because he just looks so soft.
What makes you feel like a jackass? Do tell.
You do have to realize that he was actually, you know what, I don't feel bad for the rabbit that he was about to rip into tiny little pieces. So why did we beat that guy up?
The rabbit could have turned into a star and flown away.
Quite possibly.
I wish my playthroughs could be the same way.
I love how fucking tornadoes work in this game.
Yeah, they don't blow air out of the bottom. Instead, you just go like in the top and you copter your way around.
Okay,
They
I don't see
dislocate
any
Mario.
flying houses anywhere. We're not suddenly in Technicolor. There's no singing munchkins. I call bullshit on these tornadoes. Bullshit.
Well, we didn't start out in Kansas. That only happens if the tornado happens in Kansas.
I want to know.
Maybe we're in Mushroom, Kansas. You know.
I
you
call
know.
bullshit on Mario's shoulder bones.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many times have we snapping Mario's neck? And
Oh, I didn't know that short.
Well, I go
was
pull
there.
on his legs. I mean, how many times does he like come from outer space and like land on a planet with his feet?
Well, Mario just has super shin.
And yet he can't touch a mushroom from the side.
Well, he doesn't have super thighs.
Doesn't have
Yes.
sun thighs.
It's not Chun-Li.
he's not Chun-Li.
Do you know how dense these rotating platforms must be in order to have more gravity than everything else in the room?
We've been through this.
Space is cool.
We're not even in space. We're in a desert.
In space.
In space.
Ace.
Well, technically, if you're going by that, we're in space right now, even if we're sitting on planet Earth. Because
Exactly.
planet Earth is in space.
No. Planet Earth is the bottom. Everything else is space.
We're not the bottom of the universe.
We're the bottom, we're the center, we're the base of the pyramid. It also means we're the bottom of the barrel.
No,
Whoops.
we're not. If you look at the universe as a gigantic sphere, we're somewhere on the outskirts, like in the middle of nowhere. We're in the space boonies.
Space boonies?
Yeah.
We're part of the Outer Rim planets.
Shut up!
In Obi-Wan's,
Earth is
in
important.
Obi-Wan's outer rim.
We're
Obi-Wan.
important, damn it! We're important! God made us important!
Well, if we ever, assuming we never have any sort of extraterrestrial contact, we might as well be the center of the universe.
I remember we were talking about like being in the boring universe like a couple videos ago.
Yeah, it is rather anticlimactic if you ask me.
We don't have any Pokemon, we don't have any superpowers. What good is this universe?
Maybe our ability to walk is a superpower in some alternate universe, and they just kind of like creep around like slugs all day.
Or they
They
could
do that.
float, which would be even cooler.
They'll one up us by having the ability to fly and telepathic communication. Human beings just cannot win.
Did Mario's legs disappear when he was spinning like that?
They like become like a they like become like a rounded base to his whole body, like when he spins.
Yeah.
Cartoon logic.
Cartoon
Yeah.
logic applies for his body and his arms, but not his head. So
Unless if
again,
you actually think that Sonic's feet become a swirly blur when he goes really fast.
Or rather, his entire body is like his neck is like around itself like so many times, like when he's doing that.
Should get whiplash.
yes,
He's a
seriously.
yoga master.
Never have to
Before
go
you
out
know it, he's
and-
going to be blowing fire at things.
Never have to. I don't think that's how yoga works.
What?
I don't mean to shoot
Capcom
you.
has been lying to me?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but yoga does not actually involve fire whatsoever.
And failure.
And there
Oh,
Failure.
This is why
Oh.
vertical platforming segments and platformers suck. Because if you mess up, you have to redo all of this shit.
well, the thing.
Not any worse than dying and having to redo a horizontal platforming section.
Well, this game gives you the perfect opportunity to fix that whole vertical thing, but it doesn't. You know, it gives you the opportunity to make it so there's like gravitational stuff that catches you before you fall too far. But this doesn't do that.
It's like no, but the thing is that it's like a Leckman stage, where if you fall, you won't necessarily die. You'll just have to redo the 10-minute platforming segment all over again.
Could be worse. It could be playing Castlevania, where if you go 2 feet off screen, you die.
Yeah.
Oh, Contra logic. Freaking hate that. The floor was just there 30 seconds ago.
It's
Here
a-
when it leaves my view.
It's a bit more glaring with Castlevania since you're far more likely to miss your jump.
Yup.
You know, I think you can make a man extra way up that wall, John.
Tried it. And for those of you lucky enough to see the original Part 13 before I deleted it, I spent about 5 minutes here. Because it's just something, it's actually one thing that you're not entirely sure because of the view you're given, but Mario, depending on how you approach the wall, does wall jump on an angle. Not as severe as, like, say, Sunshine or 64. But it is there. And so even though that glass panel in the front is supposed to catch you to make sure you don't go careening off the damn area, it can still throw you off a bit. And that I was just having a miserable luck there.
Well, I feel like that's one of the sections where the obnoxious 2D part, like the obnoxious this game is now suddenly in 2D thing would help, because then the wall jumping wouldn't careen you out on the Z-axis.
Well, I don't remember in that particular segment there if in a Z-axis.
No, you can. It just it functions like a 2D section, but you can still move in all three.
Because Galaxy 2 had pure
Galaxy
2D
2 really loved the 2D sections for
No, but I'm talking about in terms of how it controlled. Like in Galaxy 2, when you're in a 2D section, you couldn't move in a Z-axis at all, right? Or does this game do that too?
I think it's
sometimes.
Yeah. Because, like, in that one, you could move on a Z-axis, though, but I know that there's others where you cannot.
Yeah.
And you don't have to grind for star bits, the plus side of losing the recording.
Oh my god, it's not complete, ruined forever.
Gotta show the grinding star bits as part of the Mario Galaxy DNA.
Yeah.
Also,
God,
whenever we do a Dragon Quest playthrough, I'm going to show all of the grinding. And that game's like 90% grinding. So have fun with that.
A slime appears. The slime draws near.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Repeat that 300 times.
You have reached level 2.
And we're done with part 1.
Yeah, we're done with part 10.
We're going after our second green star for this galaxy.
This was the first green star, actually.
Oh,
I think I did
Buoy
this
base for me.
before Buoy. No, I did this before Buoy base for whatever reason.
Well,
Buoy-
it's not like nothing's forcing you to choose a Wii base first.
Well, Buoy base is one of the question mark block galaxies, right?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Okay, I think I didn't complete the specific mission needed to unlock that galaxy before I beat the boss, so I unlocked this galaxy before that one, basically.
This is tedious.
Well, it's a desert
It's
level. It might be boring.
It's the 3D version of force side scrolling, of auto scrolling. That's what I'm thinking of.
The top-down version, mostly.
Yeah. I don't know. Has there ever been like a fun desert level like anywhere, anytime?
Well, this
'Cause, like,
second
I
level
know-
was pretty fun until this happened.
Yeah, I guess it was. Like the whole copter thing was, but it's just like in Sonic, no one likes Sandopolis. In Mario games, it's always World 2 that is the desert level, which I don't know why that is.
it's always just generally boring.
Yeah, I've never.
Gobi
Well-
Desert and Banjo-Kazooie was okay.
You can't really do much with sand that's entertaining.
I guess.
I hate sand.
It's coarse and it
Coarse,
gets
it's
everywhere.
rough, and it's just everywhere.
Why is it always the horrible lines that are the most mimetic?
Because they're horrible.
Because they apply to real life. I actually just went to the beach last week and, yeah.
Of course, I got it.
Yeah, exactly. I hate it.
Well, it's just like when you're trying to like remember stuff. What are you gonna remember more? Black Doom just generically going find the world, or Vector going find the computer room. It's just like that one is clearly more memorable than the other, and it's
Well,
just
something
like
bad is just more fun to quote at you, because you can't quote something like cool or badass in most situations, because if you quote that, you can't say yippee-ki-yay in any real-life situation, because you are not as badass as Bruce Willis. However, you can quote Vector all you want, because you are lame, like Vector, and thus it's
ouch.
Thanks? Question mark.
I resent Vector.
He doesn't do anything.
Well, he's better than Charmy at the very least.
Ted,
Oh, like that's
Ted, I
hard.
would avoid your mailbox the rest of the day, man.
I avoid my mailbox all the time. I never read my
Gareth is pissed in the comments section.
Jesus Christ.
I think it's more of
Wait.
I think it's more of a the opportunity to fail on your ass is more often than being awesome. So
Wait a second. You say that we're lame like Vector and we're not cool enough to quote something serious, and for something serious that I was using was Black Doom saying find the Chaos Emerald. So I'm lamer than Black Doom. Thanks.
No, I'm not saying you're lamer than Black Doom. I'm just saying you're probably going to be lamer than Bruce Willis. Which there's no shame in being. Nobody can be as cool as
Yeah. Well, unless you're Billy Mays, who is no longer with us.
Well, it doesn't stop us from making Avengers Initiative jokes every time we see Samuel Jackson.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson somehow ended up being cool, but I don't know how that happened.
it was Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Oh, whoa, that was weird. The camera.
Okay, so did somebody just tape googly eye tornadoes?
Yes.
He mastered the art of saying the word motherfucker, and then he became Mace Windu.
Is that all it takes?
The oh so memorable character.
So wait, are these tornadoes sentient because they have eyeballs and the other ones aren't? Is there tornado racism? This is a serious issue that needs to be tackled, guys.
No, I actually like the googly eye answer more.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
so you're a tornado
you're-
racist.
yeah,
John.
you're against the ones that were born without eyes. It's not their fault.
They weren't
Gosh,
born with those.
John.
They just picked up googly-eyed glass rolling around.
Bowser found a way to glue eyeballs onto dirt, even while it's in motion.
Dirt and wind.
I would have preferred it if they had Groucho Marx glasses on.
I mean, look at those eyes. They aren't even attached to the tornado.
Well, the tornado isn't a solid object, so
Or
That's
is it?
tornadoes carrying an eyeball.
Two, even.
The tornadoes killed people, and they have just the eyeballs happening to appear in those areas.
God, that's morbid. No, it's Nintendo.
I think the only difference
Let's see.
between those tornadoes and the other tornadoes is size and the fact that these tornadoes have surrounding them.
Yeah,
But
you know what? I think we're
if
looking
you-
too deep into this.
If you slip, if you slip in between the spike balls and hit the tornado, you'll still copper up.
Yeah. This is
Although that's
serious.
an obstacle in this section because they.
I'm curious
Not
if he,
necessarily. You can use it to cut down on time getting to this thing.
curious if he makes this though, because he's kind of messed up a few times already, and this is kind of unforgiving.
Oh, I never.
It's not that bad.
No, not really. I've never had
A little.
problem with this.
I had
Unless
a bit
you
of
hit
trouble.
like every tornado.
Well, that's a story for another day.
Whether or not you want to use the is up to you, but you can skip over some of the pits that way. It won't save you that much time, but it does help.
There's a lot of friggin' stuff you can collect here on the way up. I don't think I've ever gotten like every single thing you can get on the way up here. There's a lot.
I think it moves too fast for you to do that. But
Well, you can
that are
get-
not star bits anyway.
Well, there's only ever one thing that you need to have Mario pick up at a time, usually a mushroom of some kind. The rest is star bits, and if you're good with your pointer, you can get those without worrying, because there's one line of star bit bags around the place.
I think I'm thinking of like some other portion then though, because they didn't really have as much as I remembered it having. Maybe I'm thinking
I
of Second
hate-
Galaxy 2.
This world actually hosts one of my least favorite secret stars in the entire game.
Which,
The
this is one of the 7-star levels though too.
Yeah, but I'm talking more about the one that you have to manipulate the bullet bills to get to the
Oh,
to break the case.
oh, that one.
I'll break the case.
Oh, yeah, oh, you have to like. Oh, I remember that. You have to like. It's one of these rising, falling tower sections, and you have to have a bullet bill shoot one section, then press the button and keep that bullet bill following you until it finishes falling or rising or whatever, and then have it break the box.
Yeah, exactly.
Which really just involves running in a circle.
Running in a circle and avoiding other things the bullet bill can run into, like dry bones and I think there's one other case you can break that has like an extra life or a rainbow star off the top of my head.
By the way, I don't know if we brought this up already though, but I love how just upset the Koopas look, the fact that they've been demoted back to walking on all fours after they've been walking on two legs for how many games?
And they
Well,
lost
this
their
is the
shoes.
first 3D game where they're enemies, aren't they? Isn't it?
No, technically
Well, no,
Mario
they-
64.
Yeah, they were in Mario 64, and then if you want to count it, there were Electro Koopas in Sunshine.
Yeah, I would. Well, they're not exactly the same, but they're the same species.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the most. I don't want to say like traditional, but this is the closest they've been to their 2D versions because you jump on them and then you get a Koopa shell which you can throw instead of kick. But
I do sort of appreciate this because it actually tries to utilize the multiple planetoid gravity stuff.
Yeah, this is one of the only instances where they really try to do something with that, isn't it?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I believe.
Well, there's that one, well, actually, no, that's Galaxy 2, never mind. I was gonna bring up in Galaxy 2, like in Sky Station, like when you're, like, whipping around, like, those 5 little planets, like, at the beginning.
Yeah. Why can't I just butt stomp through the glass?
Too far, too far.
He's just standing around to that, oh, Terminator 2!
You actually see
His
how
arms
Mario's...
just
Yeah,
went Mr.
I was-
Fantastic for a little bit.
Realize how Mario's arm elongates when he dies there?
Mario's arms. I thought Bowser's arms were really cool.
I'm disappointed he didn't give us a thumbs up on the way down.
This isn't Castle Crashers.
Terminator.
No, I mean, Castle Crashers referenced Terminator like that at one point.
Did it?
That
Yes.
poor Cyclops, man. His
Yeah, the
son
Cyclops.
dies, and then he gets killed, and then he gets brought back as a zombie. It's just ridiculous.
And then you re-kill him.
I mean, he didn't even really do anything wrong, man.
Deserts and rising sand levels.
It's
I think
one of
the
the...
tower is technically sinking.
They did... A lot of games have this same exact set piece.
Yeah.
Is it
like,
time
there's
for?
a
Is it time to
Donkey
put in Disco Duck?
I mean, can't you people just think of a more original desert gimmick? Maybe.
Doesn't Donkey Kong Country Returns have a section like this, or was
Yes.
that with lava?
It was with lava. That's the same
like
general
the-
idea.
Deserts are just desolate areas, really. Like, there's not much in them for them to... You know what? No, they need to do something like where, I don't know, you have a giant kill cactus chasing after you, and you have to, like, pluck the fruit from it or something. I don't know.
Well, the desert level is basically... The desert is just sand for miles and miles and miles.
Do something with an oasis, damn it. To me, if it didn't involve rolling around on a ball to get where you need to go.
Like if it was
You know,
just
I
a
don't-
regular level.
If it was just a regular platforming level, yes, I would totally get behind this level design.
You know, I don't
I see what you
mind
mean. It looks kind of cool, like very Mario 64-ish. Somebody
Ooh.
hack that so you can go from planet to planet without needing the ball.
They'll put it in Sonic Generations instead.
Yeah. Why Mario's a playable character in mod community?
Everybody's a playable character in the mod community.
True.
Am I a playable character?
Now you are.
Well, now,
Is
yeah.
Ted a playable character?
Now he is.
Is my mom a playable character?
Why not?
I like how my voice cracked at the mention of my mother.
Your mom... Yeah, that sounds like a really bad middle school insult. Your mom's a playable character in Sonic.
Your mom's a play. No, here's a better one. Your mom's a playable character in Fat Princess.
Yeah, I'm genuinely not a fan of this level. I hate this level so damn much. I can't.
It's
I
not
can't.
that bad.
I cannot begin to tell you the amount of times I died in my first
Goomba.
playthrough of Galaxy.
I
not talking
can't
about-
begin
I'm
to
not
tell
talking
you the
about
amount of times I died because a Goomba walked into my ball while I was standing perfectly still.
I do like what they did
They do
Ooh.
the music with this thing, though, where it speeds up and slows down.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. I do like that.
What's kind of funny is I've heard you could actually like put like the raw song into iSound and Nintendo like 3DS sound, and like when you like slide it, it's like the exact same programming for speeding it up and slowing it down. Like it sounds just like it does in the game. There's no like variations of like it getting higher pitched or anything.
How strange.
There's one thing I would have liked in this sort of level was like the ability to turn the camera. You can't. And that's actually the worst part I hate about this thing. It's just that you have
the camera,
the fixed camera.
There's no. Oh, I never really had any issues with not seeing anything that's coming towards me, though.
Camera is something I hate about the Wii. So
I missed.
this is where
Madness mantra, John.
Yeah, madness, man. Hey, you know, I was waiting for it. It's like, let's see how many times we're gonna fuck up this.
You almost got it on your first try. Though.
Yeah, I know. I was really hoping I'd get it on my first try.
How many times?
Now I get what this is. It's because you failed once and now you're frazzled. So
Exactly.
Oh my god, dude.
And these are all
6 lives. Oh my god.
Well, since there's so many 1-ups, we can't even tell how many times you died. Unless we counted how many times you died.
Yeah, I was about to say, just fuck the one up there.
I was
go.
waiting for you just now to just roll right past the hole and fly off the back end of the level.
Plink into the windmill and just plink off of it and go off into space.
Fuck this level.
You know, before 3D Land, that's the closest thing to jumping on the top of a flagpole to beat the I've ever gotten in a 3D game. But then they brought back flagpoles for some reason.
Whatever happened to those gates from Mario World?
Oh god.
I miss those.
This level. Fuck.
I don't think this level's too bad, to be honest.
This level wasn't bad, it's just kind of bland.
It takes so long.
That's the
Gets
problem I have with
everywhere,
it,
and it's so coarse.
It's not like sand. Shut up.
I hate space. It's cold and you can't breathe.
I didn't
It's
have
everywhere.
trouble
Critical.
with this.
He never listens. It's all over.
What were you saying, Lewis?
I didn't have trouble with this level. It just took me forever.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus with this level.
Yeah.
Is that it's not bad, it just takes forever.
People kind of confuse that. Like, honestly, like in like Zelda games, like I don't think the water temple's hard. Time-consuming, sure, but not hard. I feel like the Great Bay Temple has some legitimately hard stuff to it.
Yes, I actually hate the Great Bay.
You guys are pussies. The water temple's not that bad.
No, it's
No,
not
the water
hard, it's
temple's
just
not that
tedious.
It's
The
just
water
it's tedious
temple-
and it's confusing.
Well, people like bullshit that the water temple ever happened
It's
in
to
video
scare...
games.
I'm telling you, Tez, more to scare noobs.
Yeah, it just like... Honestly, I like the music in the Water Temple, and even though you're spending a lot of time in there, I like the music so much that I don't really mind all that much, especially now that I know my way around it.
Well, I mean, I've played the game so many times, I just know how to get through it anyway, so...
It's kind of one of those things, though, it's just like, I don't think the Water Temple's hard, but like the Great Bay Temple, I feel like has some legitimately hard parts to it. Especially the Japanese version, though, because...
What's the difference?
You have to time those fucking gears.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, I mean, in the American version, whenever you use the ice arrows to freeze, it always freezes in the position you need it to be in. In the Japanese version, it doesn't. So if you get the timing wrong and you can't do the platforming, you have to defrost it and refreeze it over and over till you get till you get it right. Plus, on top of that, a lot of ledges in the American version where they intend for you to be Zora Link in the water, those ledges are higher in the Japanese version, so you have to like do the Zora dolphin jump out of almost all of them.
Huh.
So basically, the American version's the less bullshit version.
Yeah, also the American version has owl statues, the Japanese version does not.
And you're just like, ha ha ha, fuck that.
You have to reset time to save it all in the Japanese version. On the plus side, though, the Japanese version does have 3 save files.
Yeah.
They had to get rid of 1 save file to make room for the alpha.
Thinking back, of all the times I've played Majora's Mask front and back, which at this point is like 3, I rarely use the owl statues. I always saved my game by playing the Song of Time because I was done for the day.
Well, when you know the game well enough, sure though, but like when
you're a kid, you don't know when.
You don't know like when you're gonna get tired of playing, or like when you have to go do something, or when your mom's gonna be like, "Honey, we need to go grocery shopping."
Oh, Mom! I'm playing
Why do I need
Zelda,
to go
God.
again?
I can't save in the middle of a battle.
Mom, there's a save block right after these next 5 dungeons and 3 boss fights.
It feels so good just living among people, like as an adult who actually understand the importance of saving your game.
Yeah.
Because it's just like as a kid, it was just such such a never-ending you can't win battle trying to get your mom to understand how important saving your game is.
I'll pay the mortgage later, God!
And I'm like, Mom, I have to like save my game, and she's always like, oh, you'll have plenty of time to save the kingdom from the evil wizard when you get back.
No, you don't. When I was
And you're playing Tetris.